Good day, welcome to a new video. Today we're going to discuss Dogecoin, Ripple and some Stellar. And you know the drill. If you like my content, please subscribe to the channel or like the video beneath so I can get ranked higher and we can build this YouTube channel, as we are seeing some massive movement around the corner on the markets as Dogecoin moved heavily, and usually when Dogecoin moves, Ripple moves, and usually when Ripple moves, Stellar moves, and when the majors start to move, it's a real good environment for altcoin trading, crypto trading in general. So it's wonderful, and I think we are doing really well with the market. As you can see, Dogecoin is usually a very pump and dumpy. And right now we see a wick upwards after we broke a significant downtrend and we held the area to hold, which was heavily needed, the 24, 25, 26 sets level. It took a year, but finally we broke out and we see that we've made a large move. And if you see such a pump, does that mean that you have to enter it immediately? No. We repeat what we are doing is that if you want to enter a trade, you have to have a plan to follow. So if you enter, you have got your entry zones ready, you've got your strategy ready, your risk management ready, and you've got your TPs. If a coin drops below your entry and hits your stop loss, fair enough, you go to the next one. If you hit the target profit level and the coin moves further, who cares? You've made your profits and your portfolio is growing and you're building. So what the market does should not be a significant variable for your behavior. You're just making a strategy and adapt to it. So even if Doji goes to 1,000 sets, who cares? It's all about your portfolio to compound your profits and to increase that. And that's why it's also not the best strategy to watch others and what they are doing, as there's no point in doing that. Okay, you can be happy for others that they are making profits, but in the end it's about your portfolio and they are not going to trade for you unless it's a fund. So you should be aware of that as well. Then, Dogecoin, what to expect? Well, it's I've heard that it's being listed on Robinhood, or it's actually listed on it, so people are actually thinking it's a stock. And Ripple is on there as well, which would mean that it can pump actually, because of its value, and it's just really valued relatively low. And what we see here is that we broke a downwards moving trend and expanded towards a almost 2.5x from here. So where can we define higher time frame levels? Well, we've got one over here obviously. If we retrace fully, then it's a new entry around 25 sets again. Second is that we've got an entry zone around this previous resistance zone. I think we can make this one wider, in which we can actually adapt towards a whole range between 31 and 34. If we zoom out on the 4 hour, zoom in on the 4 hour, we can see that it's very wicky, and I think we can adapt towards this structure here, in which we can make a block that this is a potential entry zone, but most likely you can start scaling in at 31, 34, and you should be patient in general. And then the next move, I'm seeing a TP around 66 to 70 sets. I might see a TP around 81 to 91, but that's usually the levels that I really want to be out. But if you want to get an entry still on Doji, it's time to be relatively patient on a potential entry on this one, as it's just seen a huge wick upwards, and then it's not the best to enter it on in such a pump. There's just no point in doing that. Even in the 30-minute chart, you don't see many entries to go for. I think we can have an entry around here, around this block, which would mean that this was potentially an entry. and then your TP is this level or this level. But overall, I would be playing this on the higher time frames, as it's what I said, a pretty pump and dumpy coin. And when Doji moves, the other brother XRP moves as well. I'm not sure where I've got the chart. Yes, I do have it here. And I've been analyzing this one earlier on, and what you want to see is what you want to see right now, is that we reclaim the previous level for support. So you don't want to see the price lose it here. You want to see it make a higher low, just like the structure we've made over here, which was a pretty small pump. But just like the structure you see over here, in which you can dynamite a downtrend. You can dynamite a downtrend like this, or you can adapt to this one. But generally what you want to see is that we hold here and that we get some compression on a higher level, where people would probably be saying that this is an inverse head and shoulder structure or whatever. And then once we break the downtrend, or once we break out of this compression structure, you can see a relatively high and fast pump towards the level around 3200, and then the flip of this block over here, which would most likely be a support resistance flip of the 100 MA and 200 MA on the daily. And once these act below us, you know that you can just adapt towards the buy the dip structure, in which you can assume that we are making higher targets, or can actually start increasing the levels on the upwards momentum. So there's definitely a strategy to adapt with Ripple or XRP actually, but you should be aware that there are that it takes time. And right now we do get an entry on a lower time frame, which is the area around 2000 sets. And if we make this move earlier on, you should be aware that once BTC starts to move, Ripple usually drops heavily in the BTC pair. Then we get towards the USDT chart, in which we see some interesting structures as well. What we are seeing here is that we are flipping levels for support, which is beneficial. We are still keeping the range low for support, and right now we are actually flipping the previous level of resistance for support as well. So what we see here is a bullish structure, but we might be inside a short-term resistance level, in which it's likely that we get such a structure in which we hold here. If we do that, in that case we make a confirmation of this downtrend breakout or this flag structure breakout. This compression period is going to be against the 200-day and 100-day MA, and once we break out of it, you could be aware that we're going to take this high. As I've been saying on many videos before, we took everything on the downside, so it's likely that we're going to do that on the upside, and then I'm actually going to target the range levels here at 40 to 50 cents. So what you want to see short term is that we hold this level, compress, and then break out. First TP is 24, then we got one at 27, and generally 34, and then we are approaching these highs here. Usually XRP moves relatively fast, so you should be aware of that, but okay. Then finally we've got our friend Stellar, which trapped me below this 100-day and 200-day MA structure, but reclaimed, and now we are again approaching this heavy resistance zone, which it's likely to break through. So we are currently also in a resistance area here, as we know. So we might be adapting a little bit like this, in which we are going to see a retrace towards 750 to 770 sets. But this compression is equal to the move we have seen on Cardano, equal to the move we have seen on Silica. And once it breaks out of this structure, you can start targeting these levels here. Might be even reaching towards the level around 2400 sets. So this is one of the coins that I'm heavily interested in, given the structure we have here, as we are inside the long 1 year accumulation range, ready to break out, and once we break out, we know what we get, and that's what we see here. So what do we see on the USDT chart? I'm not sure if I'm having the right one here or if I've got another one. On the daily, no, I do not. Okay, then we have got a clean one here, and we can actually construct it. So what we have here is that we've got a range resistance area, We have to break through, in which we are aiming for actually right now, and we are also holding the support. So this is our range, and in this case we also see that the 100-day and 200-day MA are actually acting as support, and we have seen 4 tests of this range high. Another test of support, we might be dropping down towards about 7 cents, currently in a short-term resistance area here, so we might be adapting a little bit like this and just get compression like we have discussed with the BTC pair. And once we tap this high, I'm assuming we're going to tap the resistance around 14 cents and might actually be targeting the level around 20. So the same conclusion here, you want to see 7172 hold. If it does, the breakout upwards to 14 cents is likely to occur, and just like other coins have been doing, they have been breaking these range resistances heavily. Cardano is doing the exact same thing, broke this high, ready towards the next level, and now the approach is to buy the dip around the 88 cents if we get there, and then the next rally could bring us towards 24, just like Land has been doing as well. Buy the dip. So that's my conclusion on these 3 coins. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please like beneath, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter, and stay tuned as I am back tomorrow with a new video.